Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a will I buy it, a purchase or pass. I'm going to be talking about all the new makeup releases and whether they interest me or not. All of just the thoughts floating around in my brain. I would love to get your opinions down below as well. Talk me into these products, talk me out of these products. Let's just chat about some new makeup. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get started. All right, let me just scoot over a little so we can pop up some photos here. I haven't done one of these in quite some time, actually, not since holiday. So there was a lot to pick from on what I want to talk about. A lot to pick from. So I kind of had to dwindle it down a little bit. I mostly just kind of pulled the things that really interested me or things that maybe I just wanted to get some opinions on. I think we'll start first with foundations. Now the foundations that I decided to pull are all ones that I want, so I'd love to hear some opinions. The first one being the Maybelline. This is the Superstay Cream Packed Foundation. So this is supposed to be a balm foundation. It features a smooth texture that feels like raw chocolate. I don't like that description, but that's okay. It says that it's coming soon to Asia in March, so I don't know when this is going to be launching in the rest of the world, but I really am interested in this. I can't tell. I thought it was a cushion foundation at first, but it says a balm. So I'm really interested to see if this is more of a cushion or more of a balm. I think those are very different, but I typically really like cushion foundations. I've really been enjoying the Maybelline Superstay line. They've been doing, I think, just a lot of good things with their foundations as of recent. I did review the new Superstay Lumi Matte foundation. I did a whole foundation review and wear test. I'll link that up above if you want to check that out. So yeah, this one definitely is just, it's really interesting to me. I'm hoping it comes out soon. And then one that's been out for a minute, but I want to talk about it because it's kind of the last one on my really big wish list that I want to try. It's the Milk Makeup Hydrating Gel Skin Tint. It's supposed to have a 12 hours hydrating wear time with a light coverage, natural dewy finish. Now, I don't love a dewy foundation, and that's why I haven't picked this one up yet, but I'm hearing really great things, and I'm just hoping that it says natural finish and it's light coverage. Like, could I make this work for me? I do tend to prefer like a natural glow, nothing too matte. I just really didn't like the ultra glowy illuminating foundations that were coming out for a while now, but I'm hoping that maybe like this is just teetering like enough for me. And that's where I need to know thoughts and opinions because this one's really tempting me. It is, I think, $36 though. So I don't know. I have purchased quite a few foundations recently and I just don't know if I need this one, but it definitely is on my radar and one that I'm hoping to eventually pick up. And then the last foundation that kind of came out that is really interesting me is The Ordinary re-released their foundation. So this is the Serum foundation, and let's see, it's supposed to be suitable for all skin types, 36 shades, and it's out now. It came out February 21st. I don't remember how much this is. I don't have, oh, $7.50. So this is like super inexpensive, light to medium buildable coverage. I remember wanting to try this when it first came out and I just never got around to it. And so part of me wants to pick this up and test it and just see how I like it. I wonder how easy it is to get here in Europe, because if it's kind of a chore, that's probably going to deter me from picking it up. But if I can order it fairly easily, if there's an Ordinary website here in France, I might just pick this one up and do a foundation review and wear test on it. Let me know if you'd be interested in one, but this is one that, like I said, I was interested in when they first came out with it, never got around to it, they discontinued it, and now they're relaunching it. I don't know if it's new and improved. I know nothing about it other than seeing it on the Trend Mood page. Now, maybe let's talk about some more complexion products before we go into the never-ending eyeshadow palettes. Tarte just won't stop with the Shape Tape. So they're coming out with the Shape Tape Blur Concealer Stick, and it's just Shape Tape in a stick form. I'm not really interested in it. I just thought this was kind of funny that I wanted to talk about it because they just will not quit with this. I do think that the like applicator is kind of unique as far as the shape. It's kind of this diamond shape, so you can really kind of get in the corners right here. I think that's smart, a little bit different from other stick concealers we normally see where they're just kind of like a plain circle. So I guess they did something cool, but I never really loved Shape Tape, even the original, so this isn't something that I'm gonna pick up. It's supposed to be 24 hours, crease proof, waterproof, it's vegan. That's all I really have on it. I don't really hear a lot of feedback from Tarte. I know Tarte's a really popular brand. A lot of people purchase Tarte, but I never really see people reviewing Tarte. And maybe that's just me and my feed, what's coming out for me, but I don't see a lot of it. So is this something like you plan on picking up? Do you love Tarte as much as like I hear, but then I don't see it? Maybe it's meant for just like the demographic who's not on YouTube, more of like your everyday consumer, so to say. I don't know, but it's there, and I thought it was just, you know, another Tarte release. Some other concealers coming out is this L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Skin Ink. It says it's available now in Europe. I am kind of interested by this. I don't know why. I think it's just the packaging. I haven't really read about it. It says it's supposed to offer a flawless complexion for up to 48 hours. The coverage of a foundation with the concealing power of a concealer for a flawless matte soft finish. The applicator allows for precise application. 15 shades. I feel like this is going to be a very, very full coverage concealer. Right now, the description I just have is in German, I think, so I'm not 100% sure, but I get the feeling this is very full coverage based on the fact that it says Skin Ink, kind of like that tattoo kind of marketing. So I don't know if I'll try this, but I will say that I like the packaging. And I tend to like L'Oreal concealers. I like the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. I don't know. If I was walking around and I saw this in the drugstore, I might pick it up. I don't know if I'll go out of my way to pick it up though. Just thought it kind of looked cool. Then we have some cheek products. Let's talk about cheek products because I have two that seem almost identical and I want to know which one you're more interested in. We have the Rare Beauty blush, which came out and then it was gone again. I haven't really followed it. The Soft Pinch Matte Bouncy Blush. It's supposed to be a cushiony cream to powder blush that gives the dreamiest flush of color with a lasting blurred matte finish. And then we have the Tower 28 blush, which this is now out. And it's the Blur and Set Matte Powder Blush, $22, 6 shades. And I'm seeing like good thoughts on this. It says it instantly blurs pores, smoothing texture with a splash of vibrant color and a matte finish, built-in shine control, and is sweat proof. So these sound and look very, very similar. They kind of remind me of the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blushes. I kind of feel like those are the original. I have 2 shades in those. So I don't think I'm going to pick up either one of these. I want to get through some of my blushes first. And I specifically really want to finish my Rare Beauty cream blush before I purchase from Rare Beauty, specifically a blush again. I would say out of the 2, I'm more interested in the Rare Beauty, but I haven't seen too many reviews because it was kind of weird. They like launched it and then they took it back and said it was going to come back later in March. I really don't know. But out of the 2, I would try Rare Beauty. Tower 28 too, I tend to just stay away from, only because they're a clean beauty brand and their stuff does expire a little bit quicker. So that's why between the 2, not only do I just prefer Rare Beauty as a brand, but I just feel like the Tower 28 is not going to last as long as the Rare Beauty. So that's what I'm thinking, but let me know which one you'd pick up. Some more cheek products. Let's do Nars first. Nars came out with these cheek palettes. It's the Hot Escape cheek palette, $49, limited edition. As always, Nars does. And there's, I think, 4 different ones. It has really pretty packaging. I love like this umbrella-esque, very South Beach, France type of packaging, but I'm not interested in these even in the slightest. I've just learned for myself. I buy all these Nars things because they're limited edition. I end up decluttering them. I end up getting rid of them. So I definitely don't need this product. I do like, though, at least that it's a little bit more condensed. I would much rather a quad like this than their 6 pans where it's just blushes or maybe like a few blushes and highlight. It usually doesn't have a bronzer. So I can at least appreciate that this is more of an all-in-one palette, having blush, bronzer, and highlight, but it's just not for me. It's pretty, it's tempting, but I'm going to resist on it. I will say, like, I think Nars did a good job coming out with this product, though. And then the other cheek product I have is the NYX Buttermelt Highlighter. I think this is out already. Yeah, it's $12. It comes in, let's see, 3, 6, 7, 8 shades. And I don't think anyone's surprised that NYX came out with this. They came out with the bronzers, then the blushes. They've been doing so well. It's been a really viral product line for them. So I'm not surprised they came out with the highlighter. This is not for me. I'm not going to pick it up. I really am content with my highlighter collection at the moment, even though I'm sure this is fairly inexpensive. $12. Did I already say that? I just don't need it. And based off of the bronzer and the blushes, I've only tried the bronzer. The blush just looked too pigmented. And I feel like these highlighters are also going to be ultra pigmented. So I'm really not interested. There's some cool colors though. There's like this green iridescent, a purpley one, a pink one. I think they came out with a really nice range of highlights, and I can see a lot of people being really excited about it. Now, the last complexion product that I just wanted to touch on was the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Smooth Blur Cream Contour Stick. I mostly wanted to talk about it. It's going to be available March 27th on their website and Ulta. 4 shades, $32. And I wanted to talk about it because the light shade looks really light. What's it called? Halftone. It is like the lightest contour that I've ever seen, and I just wanted to point it out. Maybe there's others. Like, I'm only going based off of what I've seen online, but it looks like a very fair contour shade, which might be nice for a lot of people with a really light complexion. And I think the range looks pretty decent. Now, ABH already had a contour stick out. I never tried it, but I know they used to have it. So I wonder if they discontinued that product, or this is the replacement, or if they just updated the packaging. It says ultra lightweight, creamy formula with a dewy skin-like finish, gel-like texture, seamlessly shapes, sculpts, and defines, lightweight coverage. It looks nice, honestly. I'm kind of tempted, but I don't need it. It does look really nice, and I like the packaging. I think ABH has really upped their game as far as packaging. I think they've started to maybe catch up with the times. Their packaging, I think in the past, was just starting to look really dated, and now it's looking a lot more modern. So I'm happy with the direction that ABH is going. I'm still going to pass on this, though. Right now, my kryptonite is eyeshadows, and let's just talk about eyeshadow palettes. I don't know why. I've just been on like the huge eyeshadow palette kick. The first one that I have is from Victoria Beckham Beauty. So these are out now, and it's their eye wardrobe. So they basically already had these quads, but it looks like they revamped them to be refillable now. I think that's really nice. And their old ones, like the shades almost blended into each other. It was one pan. So it was a little bit difficult if you ran out of shade first, or like I was afraid it was going to maybe crumble. I've never tried their eyeshadow formula, but these do look really nice. They're $50, and they look like similar shades to what they had before, a little bit different. The blue looks very similar to the blue one that they had before. I would really like this neutral one with like the kind of very neutral browns, not too cool, not too warm, but I don't think I'll pick it up. There's just other things more on my list that I want more than this, but I wouldn't say no to it. I definitely would like to try it. I like that it's refillable. Not that I'll ever need to refill it, but I think it's really smart. And Victoria Beckham, again, like seems to be taking feedback and improving packaging because it wasn't really her most popular product, I don't think. So I think that's really nice. If you've seen reviews or if you tried this and you've heard good things, let me know. The Odens Eye collection in collaboration with Morgan Turner. This is really, really tempting me. I haven't purchased from Odens Eye in quite some time. The last purchase I made from them was a collab, the Legend Diversa collaboration with the 3 palettes, and the formula was just not great in those. And since then, I haven't really purchased from them. But I do love Morgan Turner, and I think this palette is really pretty. I love that there's purples. I love that there's some like a neutral quad, and then you have some pinks. The shimmers look really pretty. I'm not interested in the lip products, but I don't know. I haven't really decided if I want to give Odens Eye another chance. This palette retails for $43.99. You can't use a code on it. I think codes are exempt, so you would have to pay full price. I don't know. This is on like my maybe, but it's high up there on my maybes. It's just going to depend, like maybe if I can swing it or not. I am tempted. I want to like maybe see some reviews and see if people are saying that the formula is improved a little bit, and I'll have to make sure that I watch some videos where the people purchased the palette themselves, weren't sent it in PR or anything, because that's my main concern, definitely, for sure. This Viseart palette, I don't know why I want this, but I want this. It's $44. It's the Paris Mattes Entendu. So it's just a matte palette. You can purchase just the singles, but I wouldn't do that. It just looks pretty is really all it comes down to. It just looks like these pretty romantic tones. It has the word Paris in it. I do like Viseart's mattes over their shimmers, so I actually quite like that this is an all matte palette. If I'm gonna reach for a shimmer, it wouldn't be from Viseart. I find them to just be, they're very pretty on the eye. They're just a little bit more subtle than what I go for nowadays, and not necessarily my style. So I like that it's a matte palette, and I'm telling myself like, oh, I could pull in some of my singles and pair it with them, but let's be realistic. Am I gonna probably do that? No, I'm not. So I don't know. If this was on sale, if this becomes on sale and I see it on sale for Black Friday or something like that, I might pick this up. So I'm just gonna like store it in the back of my brain, see if I remember it, see if it lasts through me. Because if I still think about it in the next 3 months or so, that tells me that maybe I want it more than what I'm thinking now. If I completely forget about it, which happens to about 90% of the things that I say that I'm interested in, then I know I didn't really need it, right? That's the approach that I'm gonna take. The next one we'll talk about, let's kind of go like oldest to newest, because some of these are a little bit older. I think this is older, the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. So she's come out with her spring palette, $69. It's already launched. I will for sure be picking this up. I know not everyone's super excited about this, saying that it's a little bit too peachy pink, but this actually fills a gap in my collection. I don't have too many tones like this. Some people were saying it's kind of a dupe for the Sigma Corta Rosa. I don't have that palette, never had that palette. So I know that there's at least no obvious dupe in my collection, and I do love Natasha Denona palettes. I pick up pretty much all of them, so I know that I'll pick this one up eventually. It's not an immediate purchase for me. I just know like by the time it gets to me, there's no point in doing a video on it or anything like that. I just have no urgency, but I will be picking this one up for sure. I think it's really, really pretty, and I love the artwork. I love everything about it. I personally like this one a lot. Then we have the Nomad palette. This released not too long ago. It's the Fairytale Europe Intense Color and Chrome palette. I also really, really like this palette. I think it's perfect for me. This is probably my #1 palette that I want to purchase. Like if I was going to rank them, prioritize them, however you want to call it, this is going to be my next buy, only because I think that this is going to be the best for my preferences, right? That's how I'm trying to look at things. So it has a neutral row, and then you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different shimmers, and they're all different types of shimmers. You have more metallic shimmers, more duochrome shimmers, more toppery shimmers. I love that with just some staple neutrals. I think that it's great. And I think Nomad did a really great job with this palette. I love the theming of it. I love that it's Europe themed with the castle. It is so pretty. So I for sure I'm going to be picking up this palette. Yeah, I don't have any other palettes on my Nomad list right now. I kind of like cleared it off. So I might wait because this is not a limited edition palette. So I might wait until Nomad's next launch, see if I like that palette, and then just pick up both at the same time. That's kind of usually, it's a little bit more worth it for me that way, just being honest. But this is my number one palette that I'm interested in for sure. A few more palettes we have to talk about. Pat McGrath. Oh, Pat McGrath. So she's coming out. She finally announced her next mothership. It's the Mothership 12 Petalmorphasis. Available March 21st for $128. This is pretty. I don't know why there's two different color stories, like maybe a limited edition spring with the purple background and then the typical mothership palette with the black background. I don't know why that is. It seems like Pat McGrath's finally doing something a little bit different. There's a lot of buzz around this palette, and I will agree that it's perfect. I've heard, again, like some duping palettes, the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye palette, which I do have that palette. It's one of my favorites, especially from What's Up Beauty. It is my favorite palette from them. My only question is, I need to see this. I need to see better photos, because even the swatch photos, I can't rely on fully. I want to know if they're the Blitz Astral shades. I'm pretty sure they are, just based off the names, the 4 little quads all the way to the right, because it says that they're called Astral Eden Envy, Blitz Radiance Rhapsody, Astral Sunset Splendor, and then Blitz Bronze Supernova. So I'm assuming that it's a Blitz Astral formula. If it's not, I will 100% pass. If it is a Blitz Astral, I will purchase this palette, but I will only purchase it when it goes on sale, because we all know Pat McGrath always does 30-40% off sales, and I will not spend $128 when this palette will eventually go to 30 or 40% off. I'm pretty excited about it though, I will say. Does it have a black? Or one of these a black? I wish one of them wasn't a black. No, it's a very dark green, like forest green. Okay. Based off the swatches, it kind of looked like a black, but it's a green. That makes me a little bit happier. Only a few more eye things to talk about. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk about this. I don't think a lot of people are going to. It's the Linda Hallberg Cosmetics. It's called the Boring Nude Palette. It is a 9-pan, and it is available now for $49. Linda Hallberg has an excellent eyeshadow formula. She's a really good eyeshadow formula, but $49 for 9 shades, being a neutral palette, I'm going to have to pass. There are some times where Linda Hallberg, I've seen, does buy one, get one free around Black Friday time on her 9-pan eyeshadow palettes. If she does that, I could see myself picking this one up with another one, because there are a few Linda Hallberg palettes that I've been wanting. Other than that, though, I am going to pass. It's just not unique enough. It is a boring nude palette. I thought that was a little bit funny. But I think it also fits in to her line. Linda Hallberg is a really great, very editorial makeup artist. So I haven't really seen anything that's a little bit more neutral, a little bit more staples within her line. So I think this was like a good launch for her. I just think her brand's like a tad overpriced. Like, I think this palette should be $35, in my opinion. It is very good quality though, very good quality. And then Adept came out with this palette. So this is interesting to me. This is the Emo Palette, launches Friday, March 21st. This isn't, I need to see swatches, because this just they just showed the color story. The shimmers are getting me, but the mattes look really deep and dark, and that's not usually what I go for. Tend to go for more light to mid-tones. So I'm back and forth on this one. I know for sure though that I would rather get the new Adept Minka palette that launched a little while ago. I didn't talk about it because I hadn't done a will I buy it in a while. So if I was going to choose between the two, it would be the Minka palette. I just think it's funny that emo is kind of becoming like a little bit nostalgic for people, and we're kind of like seeing this trend into emo. Like we saw the Y2K, and now we're kind of going into this emo trend where emo music's coming back. I lived through, like, those were my high school years. I personally did not dress that way. I was not brave enough or stylish enough back then, but I knew a lot of people who were. And I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to me, and a little bit, it makes me chuckle. But the shimmers look nice. I'm going to have to see swatches of this. We'll just have to wait and see. I have a one eye product, and it's the About Face. This is the Holographic Eye Paint I'm a Star collection. There's like 3 different shades of this, and I want them. I want them a lot. They're $18 each, available at Ulta. I really like this like iridescent purple one. Then there's like the darker purple. I could probably skip on 2, but I really like that iridescent one. It looks really pretty. I only have one About Face, one of their matte fluid eye paints. It's really nice. Realistically, I'm not going to use this, so I doubt that I will pick it up. Maybe if I go visit America and I'm in an Ulta, I see it, I swatch it, I might just like throw it in my basket. But again, it's one of those things I don't see myself going out of my way to purchase, but I still want it. I do still want it. I do still think it's really pretty. About Face seems like they're coming for Stila a little bit with their products. I don't know. It reminds me of Stila just a little bit, but it's not as glittery as Stila. Let's talk about this before I talk about my last product. I just have 2 more things to talk about. This isn't well, I guess it is kind of a launch. It's a new beauty brand from Michaela. It's called The Point of View, and it's supposed to, their first drop is going to include skincare. It's going to be available March 26th on their website. I mean, I'm not surprised that Michaela is coming out with a brand. I'm not. I really, really do not like the names of these though. There's something about it that like semi gives me the ick. And I think it's because it reminds me of Bop It. Like every time I look at this, I'm just like, whip it, drip it, glaze it. Like it reminds me of that game. So I can't stop thinking about it. I never really watched Michaela. Like that's not me putting myself on a pedestal. I'm never really on TikTok. So I never really got into the craze of Michaela and her rise to stardom. I have no attachment to her, so I won't be picking this up. It just, again, like it's something that kind of made me laugh, and let me know that I'm not the only one who had the Bop It reference, please. I really need to know that I'm not the only one that's saying that in my head. And then the very last thing that I want to talk about is a lip product. So this is from YSL. It's their Love Shine Plumping Oil Gloss. Is this plumping? I didn't realize it was plumping. So it's going to be available March on their website and retailers. There's, I don't know how many shades. They just talk about some of their shades. I don't have a price. This whole Love Shine line from YSL, they're really going with that. They did the lipsticks and then more of like a sheer lipstick. Now the oil, it is plumping, infused with spicy ginger oil. I don't mind a plumping lip gloss. It's not something I like intentionally go get, but it doesn't bother me. I know how it bothers some people. I do think these are really pretty, but I do want to say that YSL, like, subscribe to their newsletter or their mailing list on their website, because YSL actually does a lot of sales. Multiple times a year, I get an email from YSL telling me that their entire website is 25% off. At least their beauty products, not the bags, obviously, but their beauty products, you can get 25% off. So it's not something I'm going to seek out, but I've heard a lot of people say that they're interested in this product. And if you are, go do that and at least save some money on it. For me, I'm not really into buying like luxury lip oils. I don't know why. To me, that's kind of just a waste of money. I would rather put this money towards an eyeshadow palette right now. I'm just really on an eyeshadow kick for like the last year, and I've been able to resist most other products. Anyways, that's all that I had to talk to you about today in my Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases. Let me know if you like these videos. I don't tend to watch them as much, but I do also like hearing what's coming out and hearing other people's opinions. It's just like not the first video I go to watch. So let me know if you like these types of videos, if I should keep doing them or not. After that, this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.